Hello there, baby doll. Should you trade? You'll often see people post big trading results. The humanity of man is to show their performance, especially through the internet, because it's very easy to justify in our minds what we're doing is correct. So when we show green P&L, green trading profits, it's going to be flashed everywhere. We're going to see it in our minds. We're going to feel it. Everybody's roaring. But is it the right thing to do? Is trading the right thing to do? You see the profits, they're real. But most of the time, it's a double-edged sword. I'm going to show you this right now. Look at this. Trading, it makes money, friends. Of course. But look at the cost. Is it the right thing to do? I've got thousands of people following me. I'm not going to tell 100 people to trade when I know in my heart only 3 are going to make it. And this is not even guesswork. There's no amount of teaching and principles and fundamentals. You can't get the win rate higher. You can't. The top of the food chain is eating everybody else. And then the market changes, and then it's another top of the food chain. Every single time. This is the most fascinating thing you'll see. So there is over 50,000 wallets that you can personally verify on chain. You can see these people, they made their wealth by diamond hands hodling. This number is conservative. You know, Ethereum's ICO itself was 10,000 people. That's the ICO. What about the next 50,000 people that bought? Already, Ethereum itself is above 50,000 just by itself. Because Ethereum's ICO was 31 cents. Imagine all the people who bought between 31 cents, the next 100x. That's up to $31. Now imagine the people buying Ethereum in the first 1000x. That's $310. So if Ethereum goes to $10,000 one day, even the person who bought at 1000x from the ICO, that person who purchased for $310 Ethereum, that person gets a 30x. Imagine that. Isn't that nuts? A lot of money. Just Ethereum. Not even talking about Bitcoin here. What about all the other crypto altcoins? What about the next cycle? These numbers are huge. I just put 50,000 because it's a nice round number you can see. But what about on the other side of the spectrum? What about the traders? Think about it. How many traders do you actually know who retire? I'll tell you right now. So I've already told you. I could tell you there's about 25 people that I know, you might know, who retired off trading. And they're all trying to sign you off for something, coincidentally. Yeah, there are people. I day trade, friends. I day trade. I love it. I do it every single day. I love being in the game, buying and selling. But it's not optimal. It's my job, so it's my full time. It's what I do. But for 99% of people, you have another income and crypto's moving too fast. So I finish my post here. I tell you, bulls retire. That's it. You can't even argue with it. Diamond hands hodling is the only way you're going to make it. And yeah, there's going to be the 0.2% who go and wing some sort of trading indicator or whatever, and then you might get lucky and you make a killing and you're the one who realizes it stops working at the top of the bull market. Congratulations. But for literally thousands and thousands and thousands of everybody else, you're going to get absolutely destroyed doing it. You can still be right, but there could be a big leverage pullback that absolutely destroys you. I promise you it's coming. Let me open your mind up. I already cry for the people who are going to be leveraged long Bitcoin when it hits $85,000. And they're so sure that now on this third try upwards that it's going to thrust through $100,000. And it's probably going to come back down, tap 60K and just wipe them out. Something stupid like that's going to happen. Whole market's a scam in this short-term stuff. There's too much chaos, too much manipulation. No rational person who manages risk, I say that in quotation marks, no rational person is going to sit there and go, oh, wow, like I've lost a 30% and a 40% and a 20% and a 50% and I'm not going to act. When you trade, you are making so many decisions, the probability of failure is too high. To make one decision right is so much infinitely easier than to try and make 3,000 decisions right. You might say, oh, what's that one decision? Yeah, you buy in 2023 and then you sell in like November 2025. That's it. That's 1 point. So I know that's not fascinating to a lot of people, but it actually is fascinating because when you buy in 2023 and then you sell in 2025, you have traveled along a trend line. 2 points. There is magic here, friends. So you can even scroll down here. Look at this. Okay, I'll just draw a trend line here. So here's 2023 and here's 2025. If you buy here and then you sell here in 2025, that's it. That's what you've done. You've traveled along that trend line. You've let the compounding of money and the network effects and everything work in the background. I know this goes against all human intuition because you say, hang on, how do I capture the wonderful upside bullish exposure of growing network effects and money printing and the crypto industry booming and double-digit growth and all the coding and the developers and all the countries coming in and all the smart contracts and applications? How the hell do I capture that by simply click and buy, doing nothing and clicking sell in 2 years? I know, friends, isn't it crazy? It's fascinating. But that's just how markets work. I have answered this for you in a previous video. And if you're very curious, it's because every time they print money and capital gets allocated, the amount of money that finds its way into your bucket is not a fixed dollar amount. It is a percentage of last year's money. So every time you walk forward in the future, the amount of money that's circling around out there, and you don't know that it's going to definitely land in your bucket. You don't know that. But if it lands in your bucket, there's a high probability that the amount of money that lands in our crypto bucket is going to be much bigger than you think. Precisely because, you want to use real numbers, 10 years ago, they were printing $200 billion, 200B. Now, they're printing 2 trillion with a T. You see? What's it going to be in the year 2030? It's going to be exponential again. Fiat Ponzi system. It's beautiful. All the people on top set up this system in this way. They set it up this way. You might not agree with it, but it's the best system they knew how to do. Keeps people going. Should you trade, friends? Look, you can learn to trade. It's okay, you can. But I just want to let you know what you're giving up. This is the problem. Right? There's always an underlying issue. I have here the total crypto market cap for you. And you're a baby doll, baby cake. You just got to confirm that in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, bell button, all. Share it with your friends and your family who you care about. I'm telling you right now, this is the problem with trading. If crypto did not exist, I'd tell you to do it. I really would. Yes, I'd say, well, you can trade and learn, Forex, any of the metals. You can learn stocks, a lot of volatility there. You can learn a method to the madness, of course. Except there's one problem with crypto. We go up too much. We are too bullish in crypto. We're too bullish. And this isn't the historical Bitcoin chart. But you got to understand, before the Bitcoin chart, I mean, this is gone. This is to the floor, right? It's at one point, Bitcoin, the total crypto industry was only 100 million market cap. Of course, it started at zero. We all know that. From 100 million to a billion, you got a 10x, and then you got another 10x. You got another 10x. I mean, these numbers are just ridiculous. So let's use real numbers here. This is what I want you to understand. You have to think like a visionary. You have to think, forget everything in 2023. This price action doesn't matter. I'm going to be conservative, and I'm going to assume that we get scammed in 2025. That's right. That's right. It takes a very strong man to tell you to prepare for the worst. Not to roll over and cry, but just to tell you, hey, as much as I want us to go to the moon immediately, I'm telling you now, this might not be roses and fairies for a while. I hope it is. What if it isn't? So I have 2026 to 2028. And you're like, oh man, that's a long time. Yeah, well, you get to retire. So who cares? Do you want to work for 30 years and literally get nowhere? Do you want to live off the government pension? You can. All you have to do is click some buttons. That's the fascinating thing about this. So we're literally just clicking buttons. So this is the total crypto industry. We have 2026 to 2028. I have a lot of confidence to tell you that crypto, this yellow box is a bit racist if you ask me. It should not be under 10 trillion. I don't care what anybody tells me. Between 10 and 20 trillion. At some point, crypto should be 10 to 20 trillion total value. 10 to 20 trillion. This is conservative. Total stocks equals 110 trillion right now. Gold equals 10 trillion. Total floating cash, literally cash, doing absolutely nothing, Buckley's, is 40 trillion. So for crypto, the newest bleeding edge generational technology fintech inventions to remove middlemen and solve a dilemma, I think it's worth more than 10 trillion. If you told me crypto go in 2030, if you told me crypto in 2030 goes to 30 to 50 trillion, I'll say, yeah, of course, I would not believe it. But I'm just here to protect you a bit. But still, even in my low case estimates, with all the amount of money printing and all the smart people, like there are so many nerds in crypto. Their brains can't fit in their skulls. I have to stop everything I'm showing you right now. Have you heard of a young man named Vitalik? Look at him. Look at him. There's literally no space in his skull to fit his brain. Do you want to bet against people like this telling you crypto's the future? You don't, man. So, if you trade, this is what's going to happen. It's going to take you about 2 to 3 years to start to make it. 2 to 3 years. Your first year, you're probably, like if you're going to make it, you'll probably break even. Your first year. So that's your break even year, all right? Then in your second year, because you got to adjust for your risk. This is for most people. You're probably going to make between minimum wage to about 2 times minimum wage. By the way, this is for like, remember, out of 100 people, this is like the top 3 to 5 who are actually going to make it. The other 95, you just end up with 0 after this period. I have to draw a 0 here. I know it's very offensive, but this is just how it is. You end up with a big fat 0. So I'm talking about the winners. So you think, yes, I'm the actual guy. I'm actually guy or girl. I'm actually going to make it. All right, well, 2 years, you made a couple of minimum wages. Good on you. You paid your tax. Then you're going to think, all right, now it's time for me to keep going on my journey. In your third year, your third period, maybe you do make some. This is the problem. All of this time, you have been making nothing. If you just stuck to your current employment right now, most of you have a job. You're working a job. I promise you now, whatever you think in your mind you're going to make in that third year, divide it by like 4 for most people. I'm not even joking. Everybody, this is what the problems with humans, this is what we always do. We always do a linear upwards right line in our mind of how good we think things are going to get. It's always linear, and it's always to our detriment. So we think, okay, in my first year I made 0, but in my second year I made 60K, and in my third year I made 180K. So then you think, okay, in the fourth year I'm going to make another triple. I'm going to make $500,000. That's what you think. How do I know this? I've sat in prop firms. I've been in prop firms. This is how we always think. This is every single person says this. Not one single person who ever got crushed ever said, I'm going to make less money next year than this year. Not one person ever. Not one. Except me at the very end, after I'd been around for 10 years, and I'm like, oh man, the competitive edge, it's now too thin. You can't actually get that much meat off the bone. So look what's happened. So in your imaginary mind, you've traded, you've actually won it. Okay, great. You avoided all these pitfalls. 95% of people just ended up with 0. You ended up making it. But look what could have happened. Look what could have happened here. You could have used, I'm not even joking about this, instead of all this work and a 5% win rate. So remember, this is a 5% win rate. I'm not even joking, friends, right? After all this work, all you could have done is literally stop being a soy drinker with a curved back. If you just put in 6 months, 6 months of what you make, if you put it into crypto today and it works out, you will blow this person out of the water. They won't know what hit them. Because if you put in, remember, I always told you, think of your investment in terms of units of time of how much you take to earn and work for it. So if you invest 0.5 years, which is equal to 6 months. So if you invest that and crypto grows to where we think it's growing, and you get a 20x, right? 20x by 0.5 years is 10 years. And a lot of you're trying to make more than 20x, right? But isn't that fantastic? If you got a 20x, you end up with 10 years of income. And then, guess what? You don't actually have to stress anymore. Because, hey, you might want to stake it for some yield. You might convert a lot of it out, take stable coins, buy property. A 5% yield on that. Think about this, right? So if you have 10 years worth of your income in a little bucket, if you get 5% yield per year on that, you are earning 6 months of your income. Isn't that beautiful? So whatever you're making at your current job, working 24 hours, you're working all year, imagine you had to do nothing and you still received half of your income. Literally nothing. 0. Isn't it beautiful? So a lot of people might say, well, this sounds too good to be true. It's not too good to be true, because look how painful it is to sit through this drawdown. I mean, we're looking at little candles here, but this represents death and destruction. 75% for total crypto. We know many crypto went like -90, -3, 95%. You got to watch everybody fudding, doom posting everywhere. So at the end of the day, there's a big opportunity cost. This is the most important lesson of all. So your opportunity cost is huge. Opportunity cost is huge. So if you don't buy now, this is the zone of friendship. Right? Many people call our zone here the zone of poopiness. This is actually a zone of friendship. You know why? Because I'm thinking of the future. And I'm thinking of future you, future baby doll over here in this square. You're going to be thanking yourself for buying in the zone of friendship, because all of your bullets up here in this little square rectangle, all of your bullets are going to be greatly expanded because you participated in the depression zone here, the zone of friendship. And what's everybody going to tell you? Everybody's going to tell you when we're finally up here, they're going to say, this is the zone of friendship. But no, it's actually the zone of poopiness. That's what's going to happen. Because in the zone of poopiness, The 3 and 4 year return of everything you put up here is going to be garbage. You know what else was a zone of poopiness? Buying Bitcoin in the 50 to 60K. Look what your 3 year return is there. Right? It's garbage. You're down 60% if you purchased up here. A lot of you have, and that's okay. You know, the best part is we're like 2 years in, man. You don't have to wait that long. If you can keep adding, definitely add. Don't rely on just the whole market coming back, because you're going to have to deal with diminished returns. That's one thing you got to keep your eye out for. So yes, you can trade if you want. You can trade, but I'm telling you, this industry is growing too fast, friends. Just like our friendship. Tell mum and tell dad that you love them.